Happy Friday, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That fell on a Friday. How exciting is that? It's Jane. I'm Jane. If you don't know me, I'm Jane from Surface Anthology and Chalk Mercantile. My husband, who I guess is quite a bit Irish. Ooh, my camera's being funny. Is so excited about St. Patrick's Day. We're going out for pints of Guinness tonight and that meat dish. It's like a brisket with potatoes and cabbage. Plus he's going to make it this weekend. I'm going to contribute with a chocolate Guinness cake. That's what I've decided. Nigella Lawson, who I love, has this great recipe, so I'm going to use that. Today, I want to show you how to make a tag using another new, hey, Julie, I know it's afternoon, right? It's after 12. How are you today? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Woohoo! But I'm using the new Tim Holtz collage paper. This is called Photographic or Photographic, as the French would say. And I'm doing a little aging of it, so I'm going to show you how to do that. And by the way, did you see this is how I dry my molds so they won't warp? I did a Julie, did you see my reel? Oh my God, we have to make reels now. So I made a reel of how to do this, and it actually works really, really well. So I got this cookie drying rack at Goodwill for like $2. Hey, Cheryl, look at you with your green hearts. Yay! Oh my God, everybody who's excited about St. Patrick's Day has to be doubly thrilled that it's on a Friday, right? Hey, Deborah, Amanda, yay, everybody's got their green on. I didn't wear my green sweater. I do have a green sweater I'm going to put on to go out tonight. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, are you all ready? What's that? What is that meat dish called? It's a brisket. It's a brisket, right? Hello, Nadine. Nadine Connors. That's a good Irish name, right? Yay, I'm so glad you caught us live too. Shannon. Quadruple clovers. I love it. You're a Cape Cod Portuguese girl. But why not, right? My mom, Cheryl, my mom, who is 100% Sicilian, she used to say, well, you know, St. Patrick was Italian. And I'm like, Ma! And she would always, corned beef, that's it. It's corned beef. Yay, thank you, Deborah. My mother was so funny, right? But yes, Portuguese. Cheryl, in Connecticut, there are Portuguese communities. And if you go to the one in Stonington, the Stonington borough, which is like this amazing little peninsula off the coast. I used to go to the Portuguese Holy Ghost Society when I used to sell wine. And I'm like, well, there's Portuguese people here, you know, and they're all looking at me like I've got 3 heads. And a gentleman told me about the history of them coming over and fishing. And just the whole culture is fabulous. So yes. Hello, Willem. Yes. Oh, I love that name. You're watching me on YouTube. Oh, Carmen just posted the coolest story about St. Patrick on Facebook. Now you're talking about Carmen of Curiosity Farm, I think it is, right? I'm going to have to check that out. Yep, Portuguese red wine, very good, absolutely. And there's a wine, oh my God, Portuguese wine that's back in now. It was very popular in the 70s as a sweet version, and now it's more of a dry version, and it's got a little bit of a fizz, and you serve it chilled, not cold. And I love it. We always have a bottle of that in the house. It's absolutely delicious. You're going to come back after. Absolutely. Do that. Hey, Molly. Hello from Ohio. Yay. Enjoy your videos. First time I've caught you live. Well, I am so glad that you're here. Oh, and somebody's going to have dinner. Well, enjoy your dinner. Yes, what's the name of that? What's the name of that red wine? I'm like brain dead. I'm always bad with names. It's just how I am, right? So let me get my second camera closer here, which I thought I had done, but it kind of snapped back. So you all can see what I'm doing. All right. Oh man, no, not Vino Verde, but I like how that sounds. Oh my gosh. And I used to sell it. Oh, I used to write everything down before I would go into a package store or a restaurant. It's a red wine. It's Portuguese. Lambrusco. There it is. Yes. Lambrusco. Now, is that the name, the brand, or the name of the grape, or the type of wine? Oh, but it's delicious. And it's become so chic again, you know? And I just love it. It's so delicious. Shannon's saying, I was thinking about the drying rack at Dollar Tree, right? They have those shelf riser type things that would work too if you don't have a cooling rack, right? Except Shannon, and I know you know about the whole thrifting, thrift shop thing. Okay, there we go. Hopefully this works. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not disappearing from you guys. But I go to Goodwill, Shannon, and I look down where they have the pots and pans, and there are just tons of these racks. And then, yeah, they do have the ones too that have like little legs that come out. And they also dry way faster. I had been waiting for when I used to do them, and I would keep turning them because whichever side dried faster would cup. And this works really, really, really well. Because everything old is new again. Right, Cheryl? As long as Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill stays in the past. Oh my God. Remember those? They were like these little like coolers. Oh, good Lord. I'm telling you. It might be back. It might be happening somewhere in the United States, right? We never know. Right. Type of wine, like Riuniti or Giancobazzi. Ooh, I like that. But it's a fizzy. It's not fizzy like champagne, but it's a fizzy red wine. And it's the ones that we get are dry and so delicious. I love them. Or Shop My Mother's Kitchen, by the way. Shannon's saying she has a ton of those drying racks. Right. So great. The air gets underneath and your molds dry. All right, so I'm going to be using one of these today. And let me move this aside. By the way, you guys, I was invited to be in this year's Craftathon. If you follow Melanie of Southern Crush, she has a Craftathon every year, and I was invited to be in it to contribute. So I will be posting. I'll be posting. I became an affiliate. If anybody wants to have an all access pass where you get, a list of all the products used with links and all these other goodies. But yeah, very exciting. So I did that. I recorded my contribution yesterday. Yes, it has a little fizz to it, Nadine, right? Oh man. And it's so good, so good. Now I want to go out to Stonington. I'm going to tell my husband maybe next week we'll go out there. It's such a beautiful place. Okay, first thing I have to do real quick is paint my tag. So let's get rocking and rolling here. Are any of you making the corned beef and cabbage today or this weekend? Anybody into that? I don't know, there's something, one year I tried, yes, I'm working out of the little jar because it's at the bottom. And for these little projects, the little jars are great, and you realize how much a little bit of this stuff lasts, right? Julie's like, yes, great. I know, I'm excited. But this year's Craftathon theme is skills. So I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about what skill I'm teaching yet, but I'm teaching a skill. And it's got such great talented ladies you know, are going to be participating. So it's very cool. All right. This, I got to tell you, this DIY paint, every time I use it, and this is vintage linen, it really has the most amazing coverage. It really, really does. And as I've said, I've tested a lot, but like that's one coat. That is pretty amazing. Now I just have to go around the edges here. And if you make these at home, you make sure you do both sides so you don't get any warping or cupping of your tag. Even though this is plywood, sometimes that happens. And sometimes it will calm down when it dries, and sometimes you just gotta paint the other side. All right. Oh, yours is in the crock pot. Yummy. That's gotta make it really tender. Right, Deborah? And Julie's saying, yep, husband is part Irish, so we're celebrating. And Deborah's saying, leftover corned beef makes great sandwiches on rye. That's called a Reuben, right? You know, I remember, you know, they have those posts. I was so many years old when I realized this was this. I remember the first time I had corned beef and cabbage, and I'm like, this tastes like that meat they use on Reubens in those delis I used to go to when I lived in New York City, and on Long Island, right? Oh yeah, that's a yummy sandwich. That I'll eat. Maybe it's because I need mustard. Maybe I need to put mustard on my corned beef. I don't know. You know, and I love cabbage. And of course who doesn't love potatoes? Right? They're so delicious. All right, dry. I'm holding my collage paper so it doesn't run away. And I do love Guinness. I love Guinness. Oh, so yummy. And I think it's the least fattening or the least caloric beer, or one of the least. So that's a plus, right? I've got wet paint. Okay. Now I want to show you this paper. Let me blend in my wet paint. When you get it, it's like a bright, you know, it's black and white. Right? So what I did here to kind of create, there you could see it more, of a sepia tone, I'm just spraying my paper before I use it. Yep, see, Deborah, I know. I got it. Well, I'm gonna get a loaf of rye and make that. DIY paint is so beautifully pigmented. That Amanda's saying it is. It really, really is. It's incredible. And I put it up against some heavy hitters, and it was #1. I should do that as a live. You should have seen me. I was like a mad scientist. Cheryl saying my mother always boiled that cabbage to within an inch of its limp life. Oh my God. And she used pork shoulder, not corned beef. Oh, that sounds really yummy, right? Yeah, it's like my mother used to make collard greens, all kinds of greens. Italians are really into greens, and she would boil those with like a foot or something, some kind of body part of a pig, and it was really yummy. But it was like all day long. Oh man. But I love that. Within an inch of its limp life. That would be a good name for a movie, Cheryl. That's fabulous. Oh, all right. So see how bright white this is, which is really lovely. There's a little bit of warmth there, very slight. Oh, I just love this. I love that salt box there. So what I do to make it look like this, right? I'm going to come in even closer because this is really important. Oh, that's a little too close. Okay. I'm joking. But I just want to take that edge off, right? So I've got my mordant, and if any of you took the antique finish workshop, the plaster page workshop, I give you the whole recipe and how to make it, or you could just use some tea, a little bit of coffee, kind of watered down if you want. If you have Amy Howard at home, antiquing glaze, that's fabulous. I just have this made up, and when I make it up, I do make it up with some vodka, right? So it doesn't go bad, so it doesn't get moldy. And I don't drink it, I promise. Did you see that commercial with Martha Stewart about dry January? It's so funny. So what I do is I just spray my paper, just like this, right? And it just works really, really well. Grab a cotton cloth. You can blot it. I like it kind of being irregular like this. It's perfect. And then I just dry it really quick. And it does wrinkle up. I really like that. I think if you don't want it to wrinkle and you're gonna laugh, just get an iron and iron it. Put the iron on low, put it down and iron it. But it gets like this beautiful kind of parchment wrinkle to it, right? There's the before and here's the after. So if you want just the wrinkle and no color, just spray it with some water and dry it with the blow dryer and you'll get that really nice look. All right, so let's do a little decoupaging. And then I think I always go for this mold on my tags. It just works really well. And I actually have to pick a couple. Maybe I'll use, it's like I think I really want these ladies. I love them. See, now you have to find something that's vertical. Ooh, I love them too. Oh, I love that. Oh, there's so many, you guys. There's so many images here that you can use. Look at him with his two babes, right? You know what? I like these 4 ruffians. I think I'm going to go for that. So now I have to very quickly put a little bit of my mordant on them because I want it all to be really the same, and then dry it real fast. Hope I don't lose anything here. All right. Since Shannon's saying, since I know nothing of a cool recipe, a little tidbit I learned from Tiger Beat magazine. Oh, yes. In junior high. It's Rob Lowe's birthday today. Yay. Happy birthday, Rob Lowe. He's still looking fabulous, right? He is a spokesman for, what's that? Atkins, right? Oh, I love that. I love that. I remember that magazine. Oh, God. And do they still have magazines like that for youngsters? Oh. Now they're going to go, let's see. I didn't bring a sanding block over here, so I'm going to have to do, Tammy of Flippin' Furniture just gets us, she puts it down and uses this little sanding thing to, you know, get rid of the excess paper and give it a nice kind of look. I'll just use this. A little bit of water. All right. That was kind of a lot of water. And all of this you can do on furniture. Okay, I gotta take off that corner. All right, now, he is handsome, right? He is. Tiger beat, blast from the past. Nadine is saying, absolutely, absolutely. What a good looking guy. Speaking of good looking guys, and it being St. Patrick's Day and Rob Lowe's birthday, another good looking guy is the one that was in the movie, and I love this movie. It was up for Oscars. It didn't get anything, but it was the Banshees of Inisherin, I think is how you say it. Did any of you see that? It was so good. Oh my gosh. It was so good. And the two guys are quite attractive, right? But what's his name? The second one, the younger one. And he's dark. Oh, he was so good. Everybody was really good. I just loved that movie. But he was also kind of a bad boy like Rob Lowe was when he was younger. All right, I'm just brushing on my decoupage medium. And hey, you DIY people, can you use Debbie's DIY liquid patina as decoupage medium? Because I think you can. I don't know if I dreamt it, but I really think you can, which would be so great. Because you could cut down on all the products you have to have for all this fabulous we're making, right? Oh, let's see if I could get this on here. Oh boy, did I not do a perfect job. Colin Farrell, thank you. He was so good. And who's the big guy with the red hair? Such a good movie. It's very, very, very interesting concept, and it was really very Irish. And it was just gorgeous. If you've never been to Ireland, you gotta go. Then you won't have to see me make a mess out of this tag. All right. Now, that's not big enough. I gotta poke a hole in that. I'm gonna put, because I think it's Deborah who noticed last time, you gotta have something up there. And unfortunately, this isn't wide enough. So I'm just gonna put a little piece on top. Yeah, and then I'll just fold it back. Brendan Gleeson, yes. Oh, I just loved that movie. All right, so I'm just putting this right on top like this. And I'm just gonna pull it off. There we go. All right, and you see that parchmenty kind of look. And now, I of course Googled this. I'm surely not movie people smart. Oh, it was just, you have to see this movie. It was just really good. And when we were in Ireland, and we were kind of on this tour with a bunch of friends and a few other people. It was like maybe 10 people. And the tour guide, and it's called Wolfhound Tours. He's so incredible, the young man that runs it. He told a story of all these young men who are all inherit the family farm. The daughters move away, And there are areas of Ireland that are just all men. So they have a big festival every year to bring women in from all over the world because there's no men. And if you want to marry a farmer, and I think it's called Inishmere, I can't remember. And it was sad because they're left and, you know, they stay. And as I said, all the young women move away. And that's a theme in the Banshees of Inisherin. It's really incredible. All right, drying. And I made somebody crazy on YouTube because when I decoupage, it's always wrinkly. And I like that look. She did not like that look. And I get it. I get it. A lot of people who decoupage, they want a really smooth, nice finish. I don't care. I like the look of those wrinkles. It looks like parchment. I'm not trying to fool anybody that this is paper. It's paper, and I want it to look like that. And that does not mean that getting a beautiful, smooth decoupage look is bad, or I think it's bad. I think it's great. I just love this. And especially for a little project like this, that's what I do. Well, did you watch it, Shannon? That's not what it's all about, but it's part of it. And it's just really sweet. It's so sweet. It really is. Okay, so here's my tag. And let's get the guys. Now, I think, so this one I base coated in the vintage linen. And you might think it doesn't affect how this looks. It does. It really does. Even if it's like this is going to be bright white underneath. This is this kind of gray kind of white. But I'm going to leave it bright white this time. So it'll be a slightly lighter. All right, I'm just going to go around with my fingernail. Just like that. It was good. You did, right? Well, we don't want to give too much away, right, Shannon? But it was also about a friendship. And just really interesting. Just really, really interesting. All right, and I've got my brush that I dipped in water, and I'm just going to go around. And hopefully that, I'm going to turn it over and do the other side just to make sure. There is a coating, a very slight coating on the printed side of these papers. Okay. Now, I didn't see, did you all watch the Oscars? I didn't see everything, like everything all the time, everywhere. So I have to see that. And I don't even know what else was up for an Oscar. Okay. Oh, look at them. They're fabulous. All right. So, grab. Oh, one of my sons is calling. I'll have to call after. My husband muted my phone, and somehow our house phone, I unmuted it. Okay, so I'm just going to move this over to the side and get that decoupage medium. and then put this, and I want it to kind of be straight. So when you're working with these little things, you just have to be careful. And there goes. Did it stop? Yes. Marshall, if you're watching, I'll call you right back when I'm done. Okay. And I'm just pressing this down. Now, where it kind of goes out like that, I just press that in and just give it a little tear. Just like that. Okay, look at how cute that is. Oh, imagine doing this with photographs of your family. It'd be really beautiful. Get that top coat. And this is how it's going to look when it's glued on. There we go. But I want to do one more thing really quickly, and that is show you. Now this has to be done after you glue on the mold. So make believe I glued on this mold. Isn't it adorable, Nadine? Oh, put my brush in water. Look at how great. I just love this. This is not totally dry. It's almost there, but I'm going to put it aside for a second. Now, again, if I were to do this in the right order, I would put some Titebond on the back, put this down like this, let it dry, and then come back to do my waxing. But I don't have time for that, so because I didn't make two. So I'm going to grab my Amy Howard at Home light and dark waxes, and I just want to age this just a little bit more. So this is called, I think this is the Maker Studio. I like it because it's in these tiny 4-ounce containers, but the larger one is called Mind Your Own Beeswax. And I just need a little bit of the dark. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is wax the whole thing. Now this is definitely a wax that smells like a solvent, and it goes away when it's dry, but if you're sensitive to that, I think you'll really like the DIY wax or the Miss Mustard Seed milk wax, which is really has none of that kind of petroleum smell to it. Hey, Walter. Oh, no. Walter's saying hi from Montana. It snowed again and again and again. Finally, the sun is out. Oh, Walter. We did not, Connecticut missed it. I know Nadine in New Hampshire got it. Shannon saying, I just found photos like that online of my mother's father who she's never met. Can you imagine? You could do something, a really beautiful project, right? With all of those, Shannon, get them printed up. That would be beautiful. How wonderful is that? What is that other type of white wax I think you sell in the bottle? That's cherusing wax. Or you could just use white wax, right? And yep, that's what it's called. And it's fat. Some people use it for pickling. I think cerusing is really the technique. I'm not sure. But yeah, white wax is great to have. You could also mix different pigments into your white wax, which is really nice. Well, Walter, be safe in all that snow. I'm bummed. Nothing stuck. Okay. I've got a little tiny, very old, very rusted Amy Howard at Home brush. And I'm just going to, I'm actually going to add a little clear wax so it doesn't, yeah, so it's the cerusing wax. Cerusing. But it's great to have in your arsenal. Okay, I'm dipping a little bit of clear, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of that brown. And then I'm going to go around the edges, and I'm just kind of tapping. And I want to get it also on the outside. But you see that? It's really subtle. It's really slight, but it's going to add that little bit of age and depth. If you don't want it too strong, just dip your brush into some of that clear wax. I'm trying to avoid the middle so I could glue that mold on. And maybe a little bit extra up here around where the tag would go, make it a little dirty, but you gotta go around the edge. And that gives it, you see, it gives it a little bit of age. There we go. And then we'll just put this in the middle. Just like that. Now, if you don't like, I know some of you are going to look at this and go, wow, but that frame is really bright white. What you can do, if that's too bright white for you, is grab, boy, this is a lot of techniques today. Hey, is Danielle here? Hey, look at that. Hi. Oh, maybe Danielle is related to Colin Farrell, right? Oh, thank you, Danielle. Billy Idol sang that song, White Waxing. Oh, I love that. Now that's going to be, whenever I hear that song, I love it. Oh, I love it. DIY songs, right, Walter? Oh. You can take your mordant mixture, and let me just get my brush here. And let's see, this is the back of the mold. And I can just do that, right, to the front, which I'm going to do. I like it. Let me just... Oh, Billy Idol. Remember Billy Idol? Wow. Danielle saying, I'm not related to Colin Farrell, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm dipping my brush in that, and I'm just going to go around with that mordant. And remember, this mold has not been painted. It's just dry iron orchid air dry clay. Just make sure you get all the way down in there. Right? And there you have your own little antiqued frame. How sweet is that? Oh my goodness. Now I want to go get all the pictures of my family printed. Oops. Gotta get right there. Okay. And then, let's see what it looks like. I wonder if you can, I just want to see. Get my wax out of the way. Yep. you could pull off just a little bit. Let me move this again. So to bring out the high points of your glazed frame, you just wipe away while it's still wet, and you'll get little, you know, the white highlights. High points is what I'm trying to say. And there you go. I love it. Go out and get a bottle of Lambrusco, make one of these tags, right? And tie it onto the bottle and give it to a friend. But isn't that sweet? That's a really sweet little project. I left the middle with no wax, so I'm going to glue that down. But I love these guys. Look at that. There's this paper is really, really good for all these little images. It's mixed, and I think we talked about this last time, kind of, it's got French stuff, but also very New England kind of a look to it. Isn't that sweet, Nadine, right? Really quick. Shannon's saying, I saw Billy Idol in concert a few years ago. It was awesome, but he reminded me a bit of Skeletor. He does. And a lot of these people, I don't have this issue myself, but as they get older, sometimes they stay too thin. And wasn't it Catherine Deneuve who said it's either going to be your face or your butt, but she didn't say butt? Like if you lose too much weight because you want your butt small, your face can get kind of drawn. The sepia tone, right, Walter? It does. I think it just goes along with this paper and that whole old look. And you can go more graphite with this. You can use something cooler if you don't like the browns. I think the browns work with it because everything else is black and white. Oh, Danielle, I'm so glad you like it. So glad you like it, Julie. Deborah's loving the vintage look. Absolutely. These would be great for, just the tag alone for ornaments, right? You know I love these. I use this mold over and over and over again. So you guys, that's it for today. Walter, are you doing anything out there in Montana for St. Patrick's Day? Are you going to have, he does still perform. A lot of these people do. You know, it's amazing. And they're in great shape. I'm like, they've got to have a personal trainer and be really working out, because I can't even imagine getting on a tour bus and going out alone and forget adding and doing a concert, right? Yep, Shannon, make the mordant. I use it all the time. I really do. I use it all the time. It never goes bad. Just add in your vodka, right? It just really helps. Deborah, bye. Everybody have the most wonderful St. Patrick's Day if you celebrate. Have a great Friday either way. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you get time to carve out for something creative. Yes, Shanna, Walter's my cat. Yep. We've got Walter in Montana and then Walter my cat, right? I love that name. I absolutely love that name. So I had to name my cat Walter. My sons, we all kind of sat around thinking, because the cat found his way to our house one day. And Walter it is. Look at that, Danielle. Journey and Toto are playing Atlantic City tonight. There you go. Oh my God, those are like, I call those like the brainiac boy bands. Not boy bands, but meaning that young guys were more into them back in the day than I was, for sure. Cheryl, you are so welcome. Everybody have a great, creative, wonderful weekend. And I will see you all next week. I'm going to be actually, now I'm going to make a commitment by saying it. I am going to post a schedule of when I'm going to be live on Sunday night. So for next week, if you want to catch me, I'm going to post it. And if I'm really ambitious, I'm going to post what I'm going to do. So there you go. No St. Patrick's Day stuff. Too much snow. Walter, be safe out there for sure. I know it. You've got it. And I imagine it's going to take a while for all of that to melt. Nadine, you are a member of the Surface Anthology membership, so you go right over to the Antique Finish Workshop. It's right in there, and you can look at the lesson. It says Formula 4.